Hi, I'm Bree, staff writer at The Federalist and friend of the Daily Signal.
I'm Lindsay Fifield, the social media manager here at the Heritage Foundation and the Daily Signal, and co-host of the Lady Brains podcast on Ricochet.
And this is Problematic Woman, a show where we expose the hypocrisies of the so-called feminist movement and showcase strong conservative women. Today we're going to be talking about Hillary Clinton's whining, the pitfalls of Instagram, which I'm sure we are both all too familiar with. We're going to play our favorite game, Real or Fake News, and we're going to crown our Problematic Woman of the Week. So let's get to Hillary Clinton's whining.
Yes.
So she recently just is coming out with this new book talking about her failed presidential bid, and she recently just released an excerpt talking about the second presidential debate in which she says that Donald Trump was stalking her on the debate stage. So I'm going to read a tiny bit of an excerpt from it. She says, "It was incredibly uncomfortable. He, being Donald Trump, was literally breathing down my neck. My skin crawled. It was one of those moments where you wish you could hit pause and ask everyone watching, well, what would you do? Do you stay calm? Do you keep smiling and carry on as if he weren't repeatedly invading your space? Or do you turn, look at him in the eye, and say, back up, you creep?" So, Lindsay, what are your thoughts on all this? Are you buying her explanation of what went down in the second debate?
I mean, we cannot know what Hillary Clinton was thinking or feeling or what really was going through her mind in that moment. But I feel like if she really felt that uncomfortable, she would have actually done that. She would have done what she said that she, back off. And I think she would have scored a lot of cheap points with her base for doing that. So I don't know why she wouldn't have done that.
Yeah.
I think that she's trying to sell her book. I understand that. You want to put some things in and release excerpts that are going to make people buy your book. That's what book marketers want you to do. So I could see her kind of like exaggerating the feeling of the moment. She didn't seem like she was rattled by him whatsoever. And I don't think he was really stalking her around the stage. I watched that debate and I remember it was funny. They showed the vantage points, but I think he was also trying to peacock a little bit and make
also
himself
the way
bigger.
that the stage was set up was weird. There weren't really two distinct podiums.
And they do that on purpose. They did the same thing with Obama and Romney in 2012,
right.
I think, or 2014. In 2012.
Yeah.
So I think, she might be just exaggerating to sell some books.
Yeah, I definitely think you're right. I also think that she has been spinning this kind of sad quasi-feminist narrative over the past couple of months since losing the election. And I think this is just kind of part of that ploy to be like, oh, I actually lost because of sexism, not because I'm a terrible candidate.
Right, exactly. If you can blame it on someone else, that seems to be what she's doing.
Yes. Okay, so let's play our favorite game, Real or Fake News.
I'm
going to encourage y'all to play along.
Yes,
so
you guys should play along. I don't think I'm going to get stumped on this one.
Okay. All right,
We'll
let's see. So, article number 1, math is unjust and grounded in discrimination. Editor's moan. True or fake?
Math is what? Hang on.
Math is
I'm sorry.
Unjust and grounded in discrimination.
Well, I was an English major, and so I
do agree with this headline,
hate
but is the article.
Math. But I don't think this is fake. This is real.
This is real. Yes. You can click on the article over at Campus Reform. This is a real thing that is happening.
What?
Yeah.
I remember reading an article about math being they would create math problems that were social justice-y, but I hadn't actually heard that math is so why do they say math is unjust? This is ridiculous.
Yeah. I think because facts are difficult to face.
Okay.
And so they're like, well, we don't like facts. And so
but math is a language.
Wrong.
It's not even, I don't understand how it could be unjust. This is crazy.
That's a great question.
Okay.
Yeah,
I'm going to have to read this story.
The professors over at this crazy public school.
Wow,
okay.
That's crazy.
Article number 2, ESPN, you probably are going to guess this one.
Yeah.
ESPN pulls announcer named Robert Lee from University of Virginia game because
Couldn't
it's hashtag
believe
too soon
Right.
to the events that happened in Charlottesville not
It's
that long ago.
Nuts, but yes, I of course have heard, everybody's heard this story because I think they finally beclowned themselves enough. ESPN has done so much to just make a mockery of themselves, and I think it's so funny. My fiance isn't really conservative or liberal, kind of just politically ambivalent. And I remember when we first started dating, I mentioned all the time that ESPN is so political, and he just thought I was cuckoo bananas. You're crazy. They're not they're not political. It's ESPN, it's sports news. I watch them for the sports. And then I would start pointing out all the ways that they were political in their coverage of Jenner and everything else like that. And now I'm not allowed to watch television with my fiance.
Yeah, this is why we can't have nice things.
No, we can't have nice
things.
things.
Everything is poisoned.
Right, it's true.
Okay, number 3. After a trans discussion, a kindergartner came home crying and shaking because she was so afraid that she could turn into a boy. Real or fake?
It is real, because I remember sending that to a friend of mine, and it was just so sad. It has to be real, right?
It is real,
Okay.
It's actually an article over at thefederalist.com
Oh,
that you can
okay.
read about. Yeah. Yeah, so that unfortunately is real.
So the problem with that story was that the parents didn't know, right? The children were given a presentation about transgenderism,
Yes. Well,
and it
also,
was just that the parents didn't know about it beforehand.
Yes, but also I think the way that the teacher explained gender and
Right.
sex to the classroom obviously made this girl confused to think that, I could wake up tomorrow and be a boy. And she was
Right.
really sad because she
Yeah.
likes being a girl, which you
Right.
should. You should love being a girl. It's a great
Right.
thing. Okay, number 4.
If you're a girl.
Yeah, if you're a girl, yeah.
We're not trying to make any sense.
If you're a boy, sorry, you
right.
can't be a
Sorry,
girl,
you can't be a girl.
Number 4, father creates an app to freeze kids' phones until they respond to text messages.
Genius. I hope that's true. Is it fake? That sounds fake. Until they respond to text.
Yeah.
Actually, I think that's real.
It is real, yeah.
Okay.
So WUSA 9 had a story about a dad who invented this app where you could not use your phone to do Snapchat or Facebook or anything else until you responded to a text from your father.
parents.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Which I hope my parents do not find out about this because they do it to me.
Right.
I'm 25.
I was
and
going to
they
say,
would still do
I'm
it to
glad
me.
that I didn't have a cell phone until I went to college because I'm old, but if I had one, my mom definitely would have wanted to download this app.
So my parents actually had put these restrictions on my phone where I couldn't use them after 10 o'clock at night.
That seems reasonable. I mean, when you were in high school,
Yeah,
I bet you thought it was so
really,
unfair.
I was like, my parents are the worst.
Are they literally Hitler?
Speaking of literal Hitler, article number 5 is Facebook allows users to flag anything they disagree with as literally Hitler. Is this real or fake?
That has to be fake. Facebook allowing it? I don't know. Is that real? Please tell me this is fake.
The story is fake, but
Okay.
the article is real because it comes from Babylon
Oh,
Bee.
and Babylon Bee.
Yeah,
I
so
love
it's a
Babylon Bee.
satirical
They're
article that
hilarious.
is real and does exist on the internet, but
Yeah.
the news itself was completely fake.
Thank
There's
God.
no literal Hitler
Right.
button on Facebook.
But I think
yet.
we're going that way.
We are headed in that
I think Facebook
direction.
is heading us in that direction.
Yeah.
I got really scared for a second there, but
Yeah, because it sounds real.
yeah.
And speaking of literally Hitler, over the past couple of weeks, there's been a tendency from the left to vilify anyone that has a different opinion. Heritage Foundation's Ryan T. Anderson has some thoughts. Let's watch.
Hi, I'm Ryan Anderson, and I'm a senior research fellow at the Heritage Foundation. Last week, I made a short video about how the media and the Southern Poverty Law Center were getting hate wrong, slandering good groups such as the Family Research Council and Alliance Defending Freedom by calling them hate groups. Liberal activist groups do this because they disagree with conservatives on marriage and gender identity. But it's wrong to think every disagreement is the result of hate. Anti-gay bigotry exists. It's wrong, and we should condemn it. But support for marriage as the union of husband and wife isn't anti-gay. Believing the truth about marriage, that it unites a man and a woman as husband and wife in an act that makes them one flesh, isn't anti-anything. Believing that men and women aren't interchangeable, and that mothers and fathers aren't replaceable, that children deserve both a mom and a dad, that's not hate. It's truth. And even if you disagree, you should acknowledge that it's motivated by love, not hate. Anti-trans bigotry is real, and it's wrong, and we shouldn't tolerate it. But biology isn't bigotry. The best biology, psychology, and philosophy conclude that sex is a biological reality, and that gender is the social expression of that reality. And it's entirely reasonable to have concerns about privacy and safety when males who identify as women can go into the ladies' and girls' bathroom and locker room. Likewise, having concerns about giving children puberty blockers or performing sex reassignment surgery on adults isn't anti-trans. It's a disagreement about medicine. The most helpful therapies for gender dysphoria focus not on achieving the impossible, changing bodies to conform to thoughts and feelings, but on helping people accept and even embrace the truth about their bodies and reality. These are difficult questions. We need to be able to disagree about them without smearing our opponents on either side.
So, Lindsay, what are your thoughts about all of this? And is there a better way that people can push back against ideas and thoughts that they disagree with without saying that someone is literally Hitler?
Right. Or just that any disagreement equals hate.
Right.
I think that's the bigger problem. Even, a lot of people are throwing out accusations of like, oh, you're literally Hitler. But I think more than anything, just saying that someone is hateful because they disagree with you, we definitely need to stop doing that. So yeah, Ryan makes a great point. I thought his video was awesome. It seems to be doing really well because it's resonating with a lot of conservatives who are tired, frankly, of being told that just having a different belief or having a disagreement that's a little bit nuanced from other people is somehow hateful or bigoted, but they're not hateful people.
Yeah, and even the show, Problematic Woman, is kind of picking up on that same thing too, right? Feminists say that conservative women or women who don't buy into the feminist dogma are problematic, and that's a quick way to try to shut down the conversation.
Exactly.
But we're like, yes, we're problematic, and we're going to talk about it.
Right, and you're not going to shut down our
it.
conversation.
Exactly, yes. Okay, so let's talk about Treasury Secretary Steve Mnuchin's
yeah, I'm so glad we're talking about this.
And her Instagrams about her outfits.
Yes.
Okay, so Secretary of Treasury Steve Mnuchin, how do you say his last name? Mnuchin. Okay.
And hers is Linton.
Yes, Louise Linton. So she's 36 years old. I don't know why I'm including her age, but somehow I thought it was
She's
relevant
gorgeous.
when I wrote the script.
She's very pretty.
Yes. So she was in some hot water this week after she posted a photo of herself exiting a plane during a visit to Kentucky. Valentino and Tom Ford have reportedly distanced themselves from her after she captioned the Instagram post of her in her outfit like this. This is the caption. All right, are you ready?
I'm ready.
Okay. Great hashtag day trip to hashtag Kentucky, hashtag nicest people, beautiful countryside, hashtag Roland Murray pants, hashtag Tom Ford sunnies, hashtag Hermes scarf, hashtag Valentino stud heels, hashtag Valentino, hashtag USA.
A lot of hashtags.
A lot of hashtags.
But she's also a fashion, this is a thing on Instagram. It sounds ridiculous when you say it out loud, but I think a lot of people, like if I was to hashtag this outfit, it would be hashtag Target, hashtag JCrew. I think a lot of women do this
hashtag
where they
Gap.
We tell people where we got our clothes. It's a big thing on Instagram, especially for celebrities and models, and she's an actress, and so it actually makes sense that she would share where her clothes are from because she knows that people are going to ask. So it's actually a traditional thing to do.
Also, it's a way to get likes, right?
Right.
People are searching
They're
for
searching
these
those
brands.
hashtags.
They're searching the hashtags. They land on her Instagram, and then you get a like, right? And
Yeah.
this is what the point of Instagram is to be gaudy and gosh.
Right. Yeah.
How do you pronounce
Gauche.
that? Gauche.
Yes.
I can't even pronounce it.
I will
That's
say the
how-
way she used her Instagram, she needs a little bit of social media help, not just for this instance, but she should have embedded the hashtags in a comment so that they wouldn't have shown up in the post.
Yes.
That was what looked a little bit tacky.
Yeah.
Was just that she had them all right there in the post itself.
And
every
you would know
word.
that because you're the social media
I know.
manager, so she should hire you. Is
Yes,
basically what you're
I can help
saying.
you.
Yeah. Also, to be honest, this post kind of made me want to be friends with her.
Yes.
Like, if we're being honest.
I mean, I you don't have to agree with what she said or the intentions that she had behind her, but what I will say is don't feed the trolls. There's really no reason, especially for people who are prominent, because what she's done is she's given this bully. Oh, we didn't even talk about what happened.
Okay, so after she posted this, a woman clapped back.
Oh, yes.
And said, glad we could pay for your little getaway, hashtag deplorable. And then Linton responded with kind of a little bit of a nasty comment.
Yeah.
In which she wasn't very nice to this commenter. But as you pointed out, her nasty response to this woman who was clapping back at her kind of propelled the news cycle, right? This woman was a guest on MSNBC. I almost said ESPN, right? But at this point, they're one and the same.
Maybe they called her too, but she's given about 5 interviews on major media outlets. She's been on the Today Show. They gave her 2 days of interviews. So I think it just goes to show that
because
it's
of
not
Linton's
worth it.
response.
Because of her responding.
Yeah.
So any internet bully, apparently, and this is what they're trying to do, they're trying to provoke a response. Internet bullies leave nasty comments. And the point is that we have to ignore them. We just have to let them go. We can't let the bullies win. You got to shake it off.
Yeah, speaking
exactly.
of shaking it off, it's time to get to Crown Our Problematic
That was a
Woman of the
perfect
Week.
segue.
Wasn't it? Yeah. So the left doesn't like it when women don't buy into their ideology. So they like to call women like you and I problematic. So we've turned that into a bit of a badge of honor. And every week we crown a woman who we think is a free thinker as the problematic woman of the week. This week is, drum roll, Taylor Swift. And okay, the reason why we picked Taylor Swift as problematic woman of the week was because earlier this week, this singer announced that she was releasing an album that's going to be released November 10th. And as soon as she released this album, people were like, this better be an apology album for everything problematic that she's done, or I'm not interested. So I think that Taylor really should just double down on the problematic narrative and abandon the feminist movement, because let's face it, she's never going to be woke enough for them.
Right, never.
She's never going
There's
to...
There's nothing she could do to appease them.
I mean, she has been called out for not embracing intersectionality enough. She's been called out for supposedly culturally appropriating things. Even the term squad, she's supposedly appropriated
that, yeah.
And she's been attacked for being rich, right? I mean, when she tried to give $250,000 to Kesha's defense fund to pay off some of her legal fees and whatnot when she was in that battle with Dr. Luke, people were like, oh, she's just throwing money at the problem and she's not really speaking out against sexual assault.
Right.
When that's completely ridiculous.
Right.
So I think she needs to just abandon it and double down on being problematic.
I completely agree. I think it's ridiculous. I mean, people constantly, and I love Taylor Swift, her music and her just as a person, and it is really sad to see how many bullies just always come after her, and she just needs to shake them off.
Yeah, haters gonna hate, but shake it off and be problematic. Do it. It's good. It's good for the country.
It really is.
Yeah. And with that, we will wrap up our show for today.